So the program I did this for was Soho House and Own Academy's Next Talent Incubator. I was part of the second cohort. It's basically a free, self-paced 12-week mentorship program where you get paired up with a professional for some guidance and insight for the creative project that you want to exhibit by the end of it. My mentor was Ray Young. He's the executive director of the Hong Kong Lesbian Gay Film Festival, and he's a Hong Kong filmmaker as well. I was actually able to help out with that last September, and I also got some on-set experience as a production assistant for another independent filmmaker. His name is Min Woo. They had a bigger crew, and they were filming from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. in an indoor office, so they also needed audio and lights. It was a really good reference point for me to create the shooting schedule. Yeah, and also helped me with how to organize my information, my crew scheduling, food, sleeping, and transportation arrangements, and also communicating with everyone. Because it is a collaborative project after all, and this was actually my first time working with a crew. It was my first time working with equipment, and also filming outdoors. So that's quite a huge, steep learning curve for me. Since I was working with such a short time frame, I wanted to omit dialogue. We can kind of walk through my storyboard here. We are introduced to a strange forest that we have no context about, and when he lies down to sleep, there's a dream sequence that occurs where a female character is introduced, and you can see that there's this clear romance between them. Then there was this weird third sequence where it was up for interpretation, and then when he wakes up, it's just this going mad in the forest, and it's a choreographed scene that lasts maybe 40 seconds. Once he sees her in the forest, it's this very surreal experience for him because he doesn't really remember much of anything of his past life except these glimpses that he has in his sleep. And when he goes after her, she gets very hostile. It's very quickly revealed that he actually murdered the girl he loved. There was supposed to be this final scene where it turns back to his subjective perception, his way of coping, and he was crying out of regret, not for causing her harm, but more so because he reaped the consequences. So the reason why we cut out scenes 3 and scenes 9 was because I had a hard time figuring out how to transition from objective to subjective, and also just clarifying the boundaries between dreams and memories. The roses and the knife was one of the symbolisms. It stood for delusional romance and the fragile ego once rejected. In the movie poster, which is back here, you can actually see it. They kind of seem like they're outside a church, wedding attire, very similar. Like it would have that sort of mislead that I wanted. In the film, you're in the forest, and that's where the Pines element is introduced. So when you put these two together, Church of the Pines, this forest is also a place of sanctification for the afterlife, and that is kind of purgatory. Souls are sent there if they still have a chance at heaven. It's a comment on male apologist culture and the fact that even after murdering women or doing some other heinous crime, a lot of the times these things go excused. And that's not good. I was inspired by Over the Garden Wall. The Succession intro was the main reference for the dream sequence. Corpse Bride, Peter Pan, IAMX's music video for the song Bernadette, and also The Lighthouse, that shot where he's just screaming his head off. As for the costumes, I was inspired by Anne of Green Gables, just that Victorian era, not as progressive ideas surrounding romance and men and women dynamics. My initial song was actually going to be Karen O's Yo My Saint, but there was already a short film made to it, and I contacted them endlessly and got no replies. So I had to think of an alternative, which was Sun Kil Moon's Church of the Pines. His manager got back to me like the night I emailed him. We just filmed at school, and then the 4 scenes were shot at Tai Lam Nature Trail. My family and I hike there sometimes, and it's very close to where we live. It was a very beautiful place. It has a nice reservoir, open grass areas, and also a lot of pine trees, so I thought that was pretty perfect. For filming, we used Damien's equipment. He has an easy rig, he has a gimbal, films in 4K and everything. We went to Elliott Hall for that signature old timey-wimey architecture. We also went to Main Building and Centennial Campus's garden for the picnic shots. The free flow style that I took on that day was very inefficient. It made the numbering of shots hard to refer to afterward when reviewing the footage. The crew actually slept over at our house for the 4 scenes because it was a very intensive weekend. And we had to rent a camping trolley for all the film equipment and transporting it up and down the hills and up and down the stairs. The weather was beautiful. First day had a very golden sunset. I think the only thing that could have been better was that I didn't really plan how to get down that well. We were stranded for about an hour and we had to walk down. My siblings and I helped build a fort out in the living room, and then we played Mario Party and reviewed the footage together. The third day was pretty good as well. That's when we did the makeup and special effects with the blood and everything. But we did get a little too confident with the timing, so we started out a bit late. We took our time with breakfast and we also rushed a lot of the dusk shots because it was getting too dark. Back at the apartment, we drank some soju and listened to nice tunes. It was really nice. For post-production, I had to learn DaVinci Resolve. It was my first time using that. Usually I use Final Cut Pro. I had my DP to help out. He also has a studio account and all I had to pay for was the cloud account. I think it was for a collaborative server. Though I do realize it's very important to have a lot of live collaboration for editing because they don't see the exact image that you have in your mind. The B-roll didn't really fit in. That was because it's a choreographed music video, so every second is planned. A lot of the crew shadows were seen. A lot of background obstructions, picnic benches, picnic fences, garbage cans. Color grading also proved to be very difficult. The lighting in each shot was drastically different because I initially intended it to be so. And also the song just droned on for way too long, so I just cut out a lot of it. The exhibition, the signatures that you see right here, they were all signed live. I had my documents binder and then I had a photo book with all the film photos that I took, the unwashed costumes, and then I had a ballot box to collect ratings at the end. The overall score was, drumroll please, 96%. There were 38 votes and the average was 4.82 stars out of 5. So if that doesn't tell you to watch it, what else will? The screening itself went fine. The audience was quiet throughout the whole thing and very attentive, and they had the right reactions to everything. But there were so many wrongs, gosh. The sound was an issue, not a very strong opening because of that. And then the first couple of shots were extremely dark. Through projector, you could barely see anything, so that was also very awkward. I got interviewed about the project and the program, which did not go very well either because I tend to ramble when I'm nervous. And we just took loads of pictures and it was a very commemorative day. Very heartwarming receiving all of my friends and family support. As for my next project, I was thinking maybe something a little bit more artsy, definitely a lot more focus on costume design or makeup. So if you want to collaborate or are in Hong Kong, feel free to message me and we can totally work together for this next coming project. So that's the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching. If you still haven't checked out the short film, it's up on this channel, so feel free to check it out and send me whatever feedback that you have for me. Bye.